we'll be looking at communication in team dynamics. How should we be communicating in a team? How do we ensure that our communication is beneficial in a team? How do we ensure cohesion in a team? I'll start by saying that teamwork is just the basic ability to work towards a common vision. The purpose of a team is to achieve something. It's a vision, it's an ideology, it's a destination, it's a journey, it's a task, it's a goal. But at the end of the day, the reason why you make alliances is to achieve something. Even with your friendships, with your relationships, with your business partnerships, there really shouldn't be a team that does not have a destination. Relationships, they say, are for maximizing potentials. That means every time you decide to align into a team, there is something that is expected to happen. Teamwork is basically the ability to direct individual accomplishments towards organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people attain uncommon results. It's a fire that lights when people work in a team. It's a fire. It allows you to use your abilities and the abilities of others to achieve results. In this part of the world, in Africa, to be precise, we were groomed to do things on our own. You know, everybody wants to own the next big thing. You want to walk alone. You want to be CEO, MD, you know, all the titles and labels that we bear, because we want it to be attributed to our name. However, what you do not realize is that as an individual, you are not complete. We're all a work in progress. There's no way you can have every element of what you want to achieve. There must be missing parts. Because with your personality, there are strengths and there are weaknesses. With your skill set, it's impossible for you to have every single skill you need to make it in life. It's not possible. And that's where we get disillusioned, because we don't understand that the only way we can achieve uncommon results is to work in a team. And the mindset of teamwork is not something you only use in the office. It's a life skill. That is why when people go and apply for a job, they write, I'm a team player. Because they feel it's very attractive, even though they don't know how to be in a team. There's something about being in a team. Communication is the bedrock of any thriving team dynamics. If you are not communicating, you are not in a team. Yeah. You are working on your own. You are just driving on the lane of your life by yourself. If you are not having conversations, connecting conversations, because communication is not just talking. There is a receiver. There is somebody comprehending what you're saying. There is someone learning from what you're saying, taking instruction, finding directive towards a common goal. Imagine you brought together the brightest people in the room. Everybody is smart. I love cerebral people. But when you put a bunch of smart people together and they can't communicate, there will be war. Yeah. Because everyone wants to lead. Everyone wants to moderate. Everyone wants to sell their idea without understanding the other person's perspective. So you brought everybody together in your department and you wanted to solve a problem. You had high hopes. Trust me, you'll be frustrated if these people can't come to a decision. And this happens in every area of life. Even in relationships, in marriage, when two celibate people get married, there is war. That's what they call the union of the alphas. There is war. Only when there is no communication. But if they are able to find the dynamics of communication, then things will flow better. Let's look at some scriptures around communication. Let's go into the Bible for a bit. Ephesians 4:29. I love this scripture so much. When I read it, it was so profound. Don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. Only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. So unwholesome talk is not rubbish talk. Do you know that? It's not jargons. It's talk that makes sense. However, if it is not helpful to build others up according to their needs, then it's unwholesome. I found that very profound. So you can be in a team, you have a lot of information, you want to give directives, you want to give guidance. However, you are not communicating in a way that it is helpful to build others up in that team, then your talk is unwholesome. And the caveat to that is according to their needs. Guess what? In a team, we all don't have the same needs. We're different. You're going to have extroverts, introverts, ambiverts, people who switch from one to another, chameleons, if there is a temperament like that, who mask their personality when they are in a team, but when they are somewhere else, another part of them comes out. So every single person on your team has needs. And their needs have to be met if you're communicating in a team. So the ideology that communication is a skill we all have is not true. It's a skill that you need to learn if you're going to meet the needs of others. And sometimes that communication extends to your own family, your own children. You yell at one child because that's a team. Your family is a team. And you want to use yelling for every single child in your family. It might not benefit them. It's not their need. They don't hear when you yell. But yet, you are communicating on that team. You might be getting results with one child and losing the other. Then you begin to ask yourself, how did I get it wrong? Proverbs 18:12. Fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinion. I like to joke about it that the only yab or insult in the Bible is foolish or fool. Yeah. That's why sometimes when I want to yab somebody, I'll say, I'll yab you according to the word. Why are you being so foolish? O ye foolish Galatians, foolish virgins. So I do not say God approved foolish before you go and start calling people foolish. However, it says a fool finds no pleasure in understanding. So you want to speak, but you don't want to listen. What this scripture is saying is that you're a fool. Sorry, I didn't write it. If you delight in hearing your own opinion and you do not want to listen, there is folly involved. And especially when you are in a team, you have to listen. even when you don't want to. That's the beauty of it. Because some personalities are not wired to listen. Yeah, they're only wired to lead and not follow. But if you are in a team, it calls on you, if you want healthy team dynamics, to listen. You can't just be airing your opinion. The last scripture I have for us is Proverbs 12:18. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. There is healing in using the right words. I had to learn that. I'm still in a journey, and I'm sure some of us are still in that journey as well. I sat down and read the book of Proverbs many years ago. I'm still reading it. I go back to it because it's the manual for wisdom. It teaches you that your words can destroy. And when it is destroyed, the goal is destroyed. That is what you don't know. You can't achieve uncommon results when you have broken down every team member that carries the skills that you need. Because what happens is what I'm going to discuss in the next slide. They become blockers in the team. So let's look at communication factors that influence team dynamics. Blocking happens in communication when you are in a team, whether you want it or you do not want it. And it's for various reasons. Blocking happens when team members behave in a way that disrupts the flow of information. You are working for the same goal, but you are not communicating. You are in a team, and I see this a lot in the workplace, or even in normal groups, like you're in a WhatsApp group. Somebody drops a message, and a lot of people choose to read but do not respond. Yeah. Or they send an office email. You read, but you do not respond. What you're practicing is blocking the flow of information. Because that team member does not know or is not aware whether there is communication. Because there must be a sender, a receiver, and feedback for communication channel to be complete. So when you say, I just don't feel like answering that message, what you are subconsciously doing is blocking. However, there might be reasons to your blocking. Now, there are different types of blockers in team dynamics. The first one is the aggressor. This person often disagrees very loudly with others in an inappropriate or outspoken manner. We're not doing it that way. We're not doing it. Don't talk that way. Don't this, don't that, don't. What happens is that you create other variations of blocking in your team dynamics. And for the person who is an aggressor, they are also the ones called the negator. These ones are not loud, but they're always very critical of other people's opinions or ideas. They are wired to be able to pick out the loopholes in other people's ideas, like it cannot work. It can never work. That way, we will fail. We will fail. There's no part of another person's idea that looks like it can make sense. The truth is, there is no idea that is bad. Let me break some tables today. It might need to be reworked. It might need to be modified. But no idea is entirely bad because it came from someone. Yes. There are elements of it that might need to change or evolve. But the negator never gives you the light of day to have conversations around your idea. They just cancel it and it's done. There is the withdrawal. This is so common for introverts. They don't say anything. Is it okay? Yes. Are you satisfied? Yes. Is that how we're doing it? Yes. Do you want anything changed? No. They don't say anything. Yet they have a lot to say. Because introverts have a well, a deep well of knowledge. They go inwards. They go inwards. And they have a lot to say, but they choose not to speak. They are the ones that will never talk in a team meeting. Never, from the beginning to the end. They will sit down there and be looking. But when they get home, they have husband. Everything they didn't say in that meeting, their husband will hear it. He's not part of the team. He's not. He cannot change anything on the team. He can't affect the dynamics. Another one is the recognition seeker. This person's communication style is always boastful and dominates the session. 11,000. Not many people can know that it's a private joke. 11. They can be very boastful about their accomplishments around certain things. But it's still a form of blocking. They are not lying, but it makes others feel uncomfortable because they dominate the session. And the last one is the joker. They shoot moments of humor when it is very inappropriate. They are the jokesters of the group. We're trying to get something serious done. And that is when they want to joke. I have one young man that I do some work with. And anytime I'm trying to have a conversation, he's always joking. And you're trying to say, can we just be serious for a moment and do some mind work? But this person constantly is joking. It can be a lot in a team. And it can make the withdrawers withdraw. It can make the negators negate. It can make the aggressors become more aggressive. So each of us, whether we like it or not, we must have picked where we are in our communication style in a team. And sometimes we're not even aware that that's the reason why the team is toxic. When people use the word, I do a lot of interventions for my clients. You know, maybe a certain team is really toxic and is affecting productivity. By the time you get there, you'll find out that everybody contributed equally. The people who are shouting, it's very toxic here, are also contributors to why it's toxic in that team. Because they're blockers. Let's quickly look at four basic communication styles that we all exhibit. Our styles, our individual styles that we bring into a team. As individuals, we all have these styles. Whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, we all operate in these four basic styles. We have high openness of communication, which also sometimes either has low consideration for others or high consideration for others. And of course, we have low openness of communication. The people in the high openness, can I have this on the screen in front of me? It will be nice. The people in the high openness are usually extroverted. If you know your personality type or your temperament, they are usually cholerics and sanguines. They can communicate. They'll tell you what they want. They're not going to keep it inside. And the people in the low openness of communication are usually introverts, phlegmatics, and melancholies. For those in the high, they communicate in two major styles until they begin to walk in their communication. Because even personality can evolve. That's a topic for another day. You can evolve your personality. If you want to be better and you work on it, you might not change it, but you can evolve it. They communicate with two major styles, aggressive and assertive. And with the aggressive and assertive is usually high consideration for others, while aggressive is low consideration for others. I really don't care about you. I just want this task done. If you die doing it, none of my business. Assertive on the other side is like, I care about you. There's a task to be done. How can I help you feel better so we can get the task done? So there are four basic communication styles: passive, aggressive, passive-aggressive, and assertive. Now, these four styles have been broken into either unhealthy communication or healthy communication. And under unhealthy, the first one I'd like to talk about is aggressive. This is usually a more hostile approach. It just comes out, is not filtered, is not censored, is not tailored to needs. It just goes out. Shots fired. Anyone who dies, we pick the bodies and we move. So aggressive mostly leads to argumentation. Because when the aggression becomes too much, assertive communicators will most likely respond. So a lot of this style has negative effects on relationships. If you're an aggressive communicator, what you would see is that you will lose relationships. You will lose friendships. You will lose your team. Even though they have the skills that you need, and they might be blockers. Yeah, they might be blockers. They themselves might be blockers. And they are work in progress. But if you take the aggressive route, what you get is that there'll be a lot of shouting. There'll be intrusion into people's personal space. There'll be lack of respect for other people's time. And information is usually never received. Because if your state of mind is not clear, you can't receive information. You can't. That's the truth. You would hear, but you would not understand. The next one is passive. And these are the silent undertakers. They are silent weapons on their own. They don't talk. They don't engage. They hold on to information, or they hold on to conversations that they should be having to ensure healthy team dynamics. They don't talk. They just shut down. Once the communication is not, at the level with which they want it, they are willing to take others, but they are hesitant to express their feelings. And whatever you feel, whatever you feel causes an emotion. Emotions trigger your behavior, and your behavior affects your outcomes. So they take instructions, but they feel a certain way. And once emotions are triggered, what it happens is that you don't share how you really feel. And because you don't get that blockage out of the way, even while you're doing your tasks, you are doing it without the goal in mind. You're doing it because you have to do it. I don't feel good doing it, but I'll do it anyway. And for most leaders in a team, they prefer passive people. However, the results of passive people are hindered already by how they feel. Yeah, that's just it. If you don't feel confident, you're not going to get confident results. If you don't feel excited, you're not going to go out of your way. If you don't feel motivated, you're just going to do the bare minimum on a team. You're not going to be creative. You're not going to be innovative. You're not going to be spontaneous because you don't feel what you're doing. Passive communicators are usually quiet, soft-spoken, and they use verbal filters like, yeah, They almost never vocalize what their challenges are. The next one is passive-aggressive. Passive-aggressive communicators don't clearly state what they are feeling. Instead, they take their feelings out on others. So you are not saying it, but you are acting it. And for a lot of passive people, in trying to pass their message across, what they do is enter passive aggressiveness. And that can tend to becoming malicious in a team. You're just waiting for people to fail. Like, I won't say anything now. Sure, you don't want to. I won't talk. You know that look, like, fail on your own. Yeah. So they act it out. They stay silent in the moment, but they get furious about it later. When they are on their own. Their partner used to hear it. Why did this person do this? Where you were coming from, you did not tell them, dear. You know I don't like to talk too much. The healthy communication, which is the next one. My time is almost up, so I need to run. This is basically being able to communicate in a healthy way. To state how you feel, what you want, and be able to calm down and collect your thoughts. Process your thoughts. It requires a lot of training and knowledge. And the healthy communicator of all the communication styles is the assertive communicator. They are always known to be high in self-confidence, self-esteem. They are clear, they are concise. They actively protect their own rights. Yeah. If it's not going well, they are going to communicate it. Because if they don't, it's going to affect their deliverables. Yeah. They are going to act in a way that is detrimental to team dynamics. Assertive communicators use words like, I feel frustrated. Situations like this make me feel a certain way. They are going to communicate what they feel and help you understand how you can help them. That's the word. They help you know what they need to deliver in your team. And they are the ones you should actually be very excited to have in your team. Because they're going to say it the way it is. And they're going to give you feedback that will help you, provided provide an enabling environment for them to thrive in the team. So how do you become an assertive communicator? What do you need to do? Use I statements. Don't ever think that when you want to communicate your feelings, when you say, you're an aggressive communicator. But if you use I statements, I feel, I sense, I want, I need, you are actually going to the crux of what you need to get in that conversation. Assertive communicators make eye contact because the eye is the window to the soul. They are not running from you. They don't run. They don't run away from confrontation. They'll look you eyeball to eyeball so that you can even get context in the conversation. Like I always say, someone that you're looking into their eyes, you can see the window to their soul. You can know the why to what they're saying. But if you are choosing not to make eye contact, what you are doing is distancing yourself from that person in the team. You are looking away, you are shaking your head, you are shaking, that's aggressive. But if you are looking at the person eyeball to eyeball, you might actually hear the context in their non-verbal communication that they are trying to get you to hear. So assertive communicators use I statements, and they voice their needs and desires confidently. They try not to be judgmental. They try not to be attacking. But they let you know what they need per time. Let's quickly look at 5 ingredients of highly effective communication in a team. So if you want to communicate in a team, maybe in your group, you lead a team in your office, there are certain things that you need to have when you are sending out a communication, either by mail, because some people do not know how to converse one-on-one, but when they send messages, it is more lethal than when they talk. So communication is not just verbal. It's even in your written communication. It's in your non-verbal communication. It's in the things that you are not saying that all of us can read. Somebody says, I love all of you. Yet, they're not showing you that they love you in their actions, in the way they relate to your challenges, in the way they relate to you. So there are elements that must be in your communication as a communicator in a group, and most of all, as a Christian. Yes. We started from the word, and we're going to end in the word. That book in Ephesians says, let your talk be wholesome. Let it meet the needs of your team, the people you are talking to. It takes a lot of conscious work. I'm still working. I'm not perfect. But I'm conscious that there is work to be done. As we behold him, we are being transformed into his image. You can't see Jesus in somebody and feel nothing but love, even if they are chastising you. It's not possible. If the love of Jesus truly lies in you, your communication will show it. Because when you get it wrong, you are aware. There's a check. The Holy Spirit checks you. Like, no, you really shouldn't communicate that way. And you are quick to go back and apologize. Because we're work in progress. We're being renewed daily by the word. Daily. That is why people say things like, Christians are sometimes the hardest people to work with. Because we don't understand that Christianity puts on us the law of love. That you must see every man according to how Christ sees them. So what are the 7 ingredients that you need to have as we round up today? Good communication is a skill anyone can grow in a team. First, understand your audience. Know the people on your team. Know them. It can't just be about the work. That's not right. You need to earn trust for people to hear you. You can tell somebody to go to hell and they'll tell you which part of hell. Because you know them and they know you. Yeah. They know you. They know the goodness inside of you. They've tasted it. You have made a deposit into their EBA. Like our senior pastor always says. Their emotional bank account. You want to withdraw from an account that is in deficit in communication. And you're expecting results. It's not possible. Yeah. They're not going to connect to you. They're not going to hear you. Know who you're talking to. Their concerns, their interests. And what approach is best to communicate with them, even when you are a leader. As leaders, we need to learn that. Because we just assume that because I'm a leader in a team, everybody else needs to understand my communication style. No. It's a two-way street. If you want healthy team dynamics, you can have a team, any kind of team. Gura team, safe nothing. Yeah. But if you want a performing team, you must see them, know them. Who am I talking to? What do they need right now? Sometimes they just need you to shut up. Yeah, that's all they need in that moment. I work with Gen Zs a lot now, and they are teaching me. Trust me, I can be a lot. But I've learned that sometimes, when somebody gives you a non-verbal communication that just says, don't go there, don't touch it, don't, I just shut up. Like, no, this is not the time to have this conversation. And when the timing is right, it doesn't mean I'm not going to have it. And I'm going to turn it down. I'm still going to be assertive. I'm just going to pick the right timing. Because timing is everything. If you want results, you need to tailor your solutions in your communication. The next one is have a clear message. Make it clear. Eliminate what is not meant to be in the conversation. Past drama. Past confusions. So this Olodo boy, this task I want to give you. That's how I gave. How does that get to the point of what you are trying to achieve in that moment? Take anything that does not help the communication out of it. When Jesus died for us, he blotted away our sins. And sometimes we need to blot other people's sins out. Yeah. It can be hard. But we have to try. Because if we want results, we have to press ignore on anything that is not pertinent, that is not crystal clear about the message you are trying to get them to understand, whether you are writing or you're speaking. Next one, the third one, know what you want to achieve or accomplish. When you speak or write, know in advance the result you want that message to invoke. You need to know the emotion that you are wanting that person to feel and be deliberate to tailor your communication to it. What is the most singular important outcome that I need to accomplish this message? Number 4, have healthy confidence. If you're a weak leader, people are not going to follow you. And this is for passive, aggressive, and passive communicators. So you need to examine what is your area of growth. What you need to work on, your belief, your ability, your actions, and deal with it accordingly. Number 5, be clear and concise. I'm not going to talk on that. In 2 sentences, what are the key messages I want to communicate? Don't make it too ambiguous or too long. Number 6, let it have a CTA, a call to action. So if you communicate, let the person know what you want them to do now. So we're going to plan a meeting. We'll plan the meeting. That's not a call to action. We're planning a meeting for Thursday, 6 p.m., and we're going to be discussing the following factors. Please, can you go ahead and facilitate the meeting? It's clear. There's an action. You need to have that call to action. Number 7 and the last one, communicate frequently. You can't flash communication in a team and expect results. No, people forget. Find different ways to reinforce your message and get people to connect with you. Communication is a huge tool, and you must be able to use it for your own encouragement of your team. So communicate to encourage. Don't tear down. Build up. Give clarity. Empower. Strengthen. Motivate. Coach. Mentor in your communication. And then you would have healthy team dynamics. Let's rise to our feet as we just pray.